Once again, our discussion, I don't know if we call it a shiur, but our discussion is dedicated to Ilu Nishmas Rechalei Bas Rechaim Tzvi. And we've started discussing dating, and we'll be segueing in the process of our discussion into marriage as well.
Okay.
We are on the heels of Tu B'Av, and what more appropriate, we know that during the 3 weeks, during the 9 days, the minhag of Klal Yisrael is not to go ahead and engage in marriage. It's a time of Avelus, and that's not a time to get married. After that period is over, we go ahead and certainly get married. Avelus is in contrast to marriage. You can't be in a situation of Avel and being married, and obviously the sense of simcha that couples have isn't getting married, and obviously we want to talk about how to reach those great levels and really achieve that tremendous sense of simcha, which can only come in that marriage bond.
Okay, beautiful. So we're going to go now with the process of dating. The dating process. You discussed in the last year, Rabbi Isaacson, you told me when to start dating, or at least some guidelines when I could start thinking about it. And now we're going to go about dating. Now, I have to say that the Western world, for lack of a better word, has a certain concept of dating and of marriage as well that I think for a lot of people who are exposed to it can't help but have the influences of that seep in. And maybe you want to compare and contrast what the Torah view is relative to the Western world. What are the sort of negative things that could be seeping into our consciousness as we go through the dating process?
Right. So we're all, no doubt, we're all products of our environment.
Right.
And on some level, we all have chameleon-like qualities. A chameleon adapts to its environment. It takes on the form and shape and color of the environment that it's in. So we all have that quality, and that's one of the dangers, that the more we're exposed to our secular environment, our secular society around us, it's nigh impossible in today's modern age to be totally divorced from the world around you. And certainly influences seep in. There's no doubt about it. And certainly the culture, and the common culture out there, the Western culture out there, and certainly their hashkafa towards marriage and the whole male-female relationship is very, very different than ours. There's no doubt. And a lot of, again, I see my Talmidim, a lot of young people, they get their vision of romance and they get their vision of male-female relationships from what they see in the movies, in Hollywood, on television. And that 2-hour snippet, they'll pick up, this is what it's all about, and there can't be anything farther from the truth. In my opinion, it's not me, it's many have said it before me, but we all know that the divorce rate in the United States of America, for example, but in the whole Western world, is through the roof, is astronomical. I think I read not long ago that it's somewhere between the high 40%, well above even 50% of couples are getting divorced. That's in the secular world. In the Orthodox world, it's certainly less than that, but it's also on the rise. There's a lot of divorce out there. We all know people who've been divorced, unfortunately, and it's certainly a makas medina that exists in the Orthodox world, but kol shekain in the secular world itself. And it's important to get a handle on why is that happening, because every single person, I imagine, every single person, where they're under the wedding canopy, where they're under the chuppah, it's not going to be them. They're looking forward to a tremendous life together. They have no doubts this is the right person. And yet, in the secular world, 1 out of every 2 of those couples is getting a divorce.
Do you think that this epidemic, as you call it, is due to something wrong in the dating process, in the decision-making process in terms of who to marry, or in the marriage itself and the approach to marriage itself?
I certainly think, and it's not my chiddush at all, it's the marriage. It's not in the dating process. I think when they're dating, they've come to the conclusion, this is the right person. They truly believe it, and they could very well be right. But a lot of us are under the understanding that we can go through marriage and basically put it on automatic pilot.
Right.
And you set the thing on automatic pilot, and it just goes, and it doesn't require work, and it'll just happen by itself. And a lot of times in the dating process, if the dating process is going well, so it does, there is a certain kind of just fluid, you just kind of go with the flow, and it's amazing, it's wonderful. Marriage is not like that.
I saw that in this book, Talking Tachlis.
Yes.
This was recommended to me by the great Rabbi Ginsburg of Nativ Aryeh and Michala and now Nala.com fame. Mm-hmm. So Rosie Einhorn and Sherry Zimmerman, what I got out of part of their discussion was that dating could be natural. In other words, dating being natural, that's good, right? Because you want to be able to have a natural communication, and communication, as we know, is so important to the relationship. You want to have that emotional intimacy. You want that to flow naturally, and all those things are good. But marriage is supposed to be work. People are supposed to go in with the mindset that you work at it. And they made actually an interesting observation that in some ways, marriages where the couple has not had the opportunity, especially in very religious circles, to get to know each other as well as some of the couples who've practically acted like they've been married before the marriage, their success rate could be due in part to the fact that they go in knowing that they don't know everything there is to know about each other,